Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for today's video. I am Gabrielle. I also go by the Mystic Hottie. I like talking about spirituality, life, healing, and embodied pleasure. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I would greatly appreciate a like, comment, a subscribe, a follow, all the things. Before we get started, I did want to say thank you guys for 205 subscribers. I am very, very grateful. I made a little post just saying like thank you and I appreciate all the support. It has me feeling like, okay, y'all love me. So thank you guys so much. Today we're going to talk about how I connect with and work with my ancestors, and hopefully that can give y'all some insight on how to work with yours and connect with yours. And I am very excited because I love talking about my ancestors. I love talking to my ancestors, and just ancestral work. It's like, oh, that's my thing. But first I'll start off by saying that everyone's connection and relationship is going to look different. You obviously don't have to follow these things like step by step and like rule by rule of what I'm saying. So one example of how kind of like ancestors can look different is with my best friend. So I just think it's funny also because I like talk about her like every other video. I'm like, get out of my mind, girl. But anyway, so we were talking about her ancestors, and she was saying that she doesn't necessarily think that it's kind of people from her lineage. And then I kind of had like a message when she was saying that, and we were outside, and I was like, oh, I think like some of your ancestors are the trees, because if you know her, it's giving very much like wisdom and very much Mother Earth. Like that's kind of like the best way I can like describe it. But yeah, and I think that's just really cool how like ancestors can look really different for all of us. So like with my ancestral team, I think that there is like three main kind of like more masculine energies. It also may look different depending on ethnicity, on like cultural backgrounds and where you're from. So for me, I'm originally from New Orleans, and I just know, I feel it, that some people in my ancestral line have done like work with voodoo, hoodoo, and just some type of deeply spiritual Black practice. Sorry guys, I got distracted by El Jefe. He jumped on the bed and he's facing the opposite way. It's like giving antisocial, but we're gonna let him do him. Okay, so I say starting off with calling in the ancestors that have the highest good and the best intentions for you is really important. Someone had pointed out that not all of your ancestors are good people, just to like put it plain. Obviously, I'm not trying to like fear monger anyone and say like, oh, they're like evil or anything like that. But when you kind of think about it, like not everyone is a good person. So just calling in the ones who have the best intentions for you because they want to work with you. Your ancestors want to help you in your path, help you along life, give you things, and have that connection and that relationship with you. Next, we'll tap into prayer. For me, this is a big one. Prayer can really just be as simple as having a conversation like with your ancestors. So it's going to look a little different each time for me. Sometimes I'll just be having a conversation, talking out loud, and that is my communication with my ancestors. That's my prayer to my ancestors. Sometimes I like to get a little dramatic, okay, because what's life without a little drama? I'll be like, gather around, ancestors, there's a topic we must discuss. Or like, gather around, ye ancestors, there's a topic afoot we must discuss. Like, I just be saying shit. Sometimes when I want to do prayer in a more ritualistic way, I'll stand over my altar. I'll start off by cleansing it with Palo Santo, with incense. You don't have to do it with that, like you don't need those things, but you can just cleanse it with your words as affirmation and as protection, and as just like inviting your ancestors in. But I'll stand over my altar and just praying with my hands like this, like that. Just hits different when you're in front of your altar, communicating and just receiving messages and praying to your ancestors. It's just a nice nice experience. So that leads me to our next part, which is an altar. So you don't have to have an altar if you don't want one, but if you feel called to do it, then you definitely should. It's just a nice way to honor your ancestors. So I wouldn't put anyone on there that is still alive, like any pictures, because pictures are a big part of it. I personally don't have any pictures on mine, but you can add like whatever you want to yours. It doesn't even have to be like super extra. You can do offerings. Recently, I did an apple as an offering. You could do water, and you could also put a white candle there as well. Next, we'll have a little show and tell from a few different things that I like to have on my altar. So I'll put oracle cards on my altar. These are two different decks. This one is my newest deck. Get into it. It's the New Orleans Oracle deck. The first card that I had seen was the card like Hurricane Katrina, and oh my goodness, it was so captivating. It was so captivating, and it made me feel so deeply. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it. Where are you? Number 7, end of cycles. Look at that. That's Hurricane Katrina. Every time I see this card, it just has such a like immense energy. I don't even know if immense is the right word, but it's just like a big energy within this card. Like, I feel it. But anyway, so that is one oracle deck that I like to have on mine. Next, I have this Sacred Cycle one. I think I did like a short video and I posted it on there like a few years ago on my YouTube channel. But this is a Sacred Cycle one. It's about like the moon cycles, menstrual phases. You don't have to have a cycle to use it, obviously. But so here's one example. This is the Waxing Gibbous Moon. And I typically I'll use these when I am on my cycle, just because it feels like another connection with having a cycle, and I like it. What else? Ooh, okay. So I have this is a little urn that I recently put on there. It says Salem. So this is for one of my kitties who used to walk with me in life, and he passed away. And these are his like little ashes, but I just wanted to put this on there to kind of honor the time that I had with him. And then also I like to put my cross on there. So as you can see, it's missing an arm. So this is the cross that was given to me during Hurricane Katrina. So that's why it's missing an arm. It went through a hurricane. But yeah, somebody gave this to me during Hurricane Katrina at one of the shelters or the churches. And I said in the video that I made about Hurricane Katrina, just talking about how I used to keep this kind of like hidden away in a bag and stuff because of the feeling that I would get when I would see it. But I don't know, in the more recent years, it's changed, and I have more of a just like loving feeling and this feeling of protection when I see it. So I put it on my altar like a few years ago. So something else you can do is put money on your altar. So I'll put money on my altar, and I'll kind of use it as a way to like be grateful for the money that I have already, and use it as a way to kind of manifest and ask for more abundance. Another way that I like to connect with my ancestors is through communicating with them through oracle and tarot readings. So when starting off, you can kind of ask like just different questions, getting to know your ancestors, likes, dislikes, and kind of building that relationship that way. When I was starting off, I was curious about how many ancestors I had working with me. And I remember I got like 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, 3 of Cups. And I was like, okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. So I really think that I have 3 main ancestors with more masculine energy that are like actively looking out for me, guiding me, and protecting me. And I know for a matter of fact that one is my gay uncle. I love him. Like, I just know. But anyway, when you're starting off or when you're doing these readings, you can ask for guidance. I stay asking for guidance. You can ask what they want you to know right now. You can ask them to illuminate things for you. So I just wanted to show my like tarot deck. This is my favorite one. If you can't tell, I love cats. I love them so much. so much. I like using this or any other type of deck, my oracle cards, and then just communicating with them. And then shameless plug, but I do oracle and tarot readings. So if you're interested, it doesn't even have to be about your ancestors. We can talk about life, anything that you want to know, but I'll link it below in the description if you're interested. Honoring where you came from is another one. Like I said, I'm originally from New Orleans. I went through Hurricane Katrina, and in my little 5-year-old brain at the time, it somehow connected. Hurricane Katrina said something negative about me. It said something bad about me, and I like connected it to my self-worth. So doing healing and honoring where I came from and knowing that those things don't say anything like negative about me was a really important part of my ancestral healing. Last but not least, this video would not be complete without talking about racial healing and ancestral healing. So sometimes it can look like showing up more authentically and just actively trying to live a more authentic life. I am actively trying to show up more authentic, like on YouTube, IRL, and just like being myself more. Another way is to follow your path, follow your dreams, follow the things that are truly meant for you, and following what makes you happy, especially if you are a Black person, a person of color. So much of the experiences that ancestors have had have been through oppression and slavery and having things taken away from us, right? So living in joy is rebellion. I saw that somewhere. Living in joy with joy is an act of rebellion. So that's a good one. Racial healing is another really big one. If you're Black in America, then you know our ancestors have been through so much. And I truly think that some of those experiences are like within our DNA and get trickled down within us. So racial healing is a very big part of connecting with ancestors and healing that. I've been looking into post-traumatic slave syndrome. I haven't read the book. There's a book for it, but basically it's kind of like the theory of multi-generational trauma and like the centuries of slavery that our ancestors went through, and that kind of being passed on in psychological and physical and behavioral ways in us now. And I think it's really interesting. There's one part of it that talks about like the suspicion that Black people face. And I feel so suspicious. I feel so suspicious, you guys. Like I can't fully trust some people, and I'm suspicious if they like say the N-word, or they're like waiting till I'm not around to say the N-word. Are they like secretly racist? So that part of it like made me feel very seen. And I have a Black spidey sense. Like tell me if y'all know what's up, but that's what I call it. It's my Black spidey sense. I always know when someone says the N-word. I can always tell. My Black spidey senses go off, and I can always tell. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a like, a comment, and consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time.